Hey everyone, Dukaness here with an update to my shotgun analysis from after the patch. I actually had the pleasure of talking back and forth with Josh Hamrick, who's a sandbox designer at Bungie, if you didn't know. Before I go any further, I want to give him a huge shout out. He answered a ton of both my questions and questions from other people. He spends a lot of time on Twitter dealing with some ugly people in this community, so I wanted to take this opportunity to give him the recognition he deserves and show my appreciation. A couple people linked in my video, which is in the description, and then eventually we got to talking. I want to give you guys a couple video examples today that explain what I learned in our conversation. It sheds a lot of light on the mechanics of shotguns and explains why they feel so bad right now. I'll also talk about what we can expect for shotguns in the future. The first thing I want to mention is that the aerial accuracy of shotguns was reduced, but not in the way Bungie initially thought it was. Bungie thought they widened the spread in air, which is what they meant when they said reduced aerial accuracy. Josh confirmed that this change was reverted and never went through. However, I actually brought a different change to light. Let me remind you of this clip from my video, where you can see the center of the spread is obviously high and left from where I was aiming. If I ran this test before the patch on a wall, exactly like I just showed you, you would have actually seen the same results, according to Josh. However, the results would have been different on a Guardian because of the aim assist and magnetism reduction that occurred in the update. Pre-patch, the magnetism of the shot would have pulled the spread closer to where you aimed. The simple fact that there's a player in front of your shot would have straightened it out a little bit. Now that the magnetism was reduced, aiming at another player has the same sort of effect as aiming at a wall. There's no mechanic driving your shot closer to where you actually aimed, or rather, there's no mechanic stopping it from deviating. You might be wondering, Duke, why would aim assist have an effect on the accuracy of a shot after you're already on target? That's a good question. So take a look at another clip from my other video. In this test environment, I'm already aiming directly at KC. There's no movement. There's no risk that my shot will miss. Aim assist isn't relevant here. Except it is, which is something I didn't know beforehand that Josh clarified. The reason aim assist matters, even when you're already on target, is because it includes magnetism. There was always an element of inaccuracy when firing every gun from the air. The aim assist stat of your weapon reduces how much your airborne shots sway from where you actually aimed. Since this was reduced for aerial shotgun shots, we're seeing our spreads miss the mark more often. So just to sum this up, randomness was not added to airborne shotguns, but the aim assist that once tamed the randomness was reduced, which effectively does add an element of randomness. Now that we understand how aim assist works a little better, we can talk about the implications. As far as I can tell, aim assist has two factors, one you can control and one you can't control. The factor you can control is how much aim assist guides you towards your target. As a player, you can completely overcome the reduction of aim assist for this factor by improving your own aim. You aren't fighting anything other than your own skill. As Josh confirmed, a robot with perfect accuracy would have the same success with this factor now as they would have before the patch. The other factor is the inherent randomness of firing a weapon while airborne, which you cannot control. Think of it like this. We know Bungie increased the aerial accuracy of scout rifles, auto rifles, and pulse rifles. As a result of that, more of our shots land with those guns. We didn't do anything, we didn't improve, but our shots land more frequently with those guns because the mechanic was buffed. Well, it's a lot like that, except it goes the other way for shotguns, which is basically what I said and discovered in the other video. Just before I close the book on the facts, I want to point out that this is not true for ADS shotguns with your feet planted. It's true for hip firing on the ground and both hip fire and ADS shots in the air. With your feet planted and your shotgun zoomed in, the inherent accuracy that can't be controlled is gone. It doesn't apply, which means the onus is entirely on you to land your shot. Like I mentioned in the other video, it's harder to hit your shots, but it's possible to hit them just as accurately as before the patch. Again, that's with your feet planted and fully ADS. So let's summarize the facts before we get into next steps and the future of shotguns. Shotgun spread was supposed to be widened. It wasn't. However, aim assist and pellet magnetism was reduced for aerial shots, which achieved Bungie's goal of nerfing aerial accuracy, albeit in a different way than they had intended. As of right now, we're fighting two factors that always existed but are more prevalent after the patch. The reduced aim assist that affects the ease of being able to center your aim, which we can control, and the inherent randomness from firing a weapon while airborne that we can't control. The last factor is the reason shotguns feel so bad right now, because the severity of the randomness was effectively increased. As for where shotguns are going, I have some great news for people who hate shotguns, and obviously some terrible news for people who love them. A lot of people claim that aerial shotgun accuracy wasn't changed after the patch because they did their tests based on wall spreads. Bungie knew the changes to spread never went through, so they also thought that accuracy was untouched. Since they said they were going to reduce aerial accuracy, but understandably thought they hadn't, that change is going to go through in the Age of Triumphs update. So I can confirm, yes, shotguns are actually going to get even worse than they are now because the spread is going to be wider. This is understandable because, as Josh mentioned, updates don't just happen overnight. The update is basically ready, and it's too late now to change the changes. Josh acknowledges that it's crazy to nerf shotguns even more than they already have been, so he's committed to gathering data after the next update, and he'll tweak things as necessary. For him to say that after Bungie confirmed Age of Triumphs will be the last Destiny update, I think that's pretty cool, and I think it shows how much he cares about the game. The other point he made is that no one is really using shotguns in the air right now, so very few people will feel the effect of a widened spread, which is certainly true. Another thing to remember is that sidearm ammo is being changed. Considering the increase in sidearm popularity is mainly due to the fact that they always have ammo, reducing that perk will make other special weapons more viable. For shotguns, it's a question of will they be viable enough? I have my expectation, which is a fat hells to the no. However, my word is not law, and I can't predict how the next update is going to play out, especially considering I don't know all of the expected changes. Josh does know the changes, and he seems more optimistic than I do, so I'm going to leave it to him for now, and I'll save my judgments for a time when I have all the information. What I will say is, something major is going to have to change for shotguns to make any kind of comeback, because they are bad right now, and they are only going to get worse. With that being said, it's whatever. Certain guns get their time in the spotlight. Don't marry a weapon. Use what's fun, use what's competitive, and don't worry about what has happened or what will happen to your favorite weapon. Change can be fun if you're open-minded, and I hope you guys embrace that attitude. I know I have, and I'm going to roll with whatever weapons I think give me the best chance to win because I enjoy playing Destiny. Just before I go, I want to give another shout out to Josh. He deals with a lot of rude and condescending people on Twitter, so it's a miracle that he still communicates with us despite all that. I know the power of positive feedback as a content creator, so I think it would be cool if a bunch of you guys sent him a tweet showing your appreciation for how transparent he's being. As a community, transparency is something we should be encouraging from Bungie, and as a content creator, that's something I want to promote. So I've linked his Twitter in the description, along with our discussion. I'd rather you reach out to him instead of leaving a comment and liking this video, so do it for me if you don't mind. But anyway, that's it for me guys. I hope you found this video enlightening, and I'll see you soon enough. Dukaness out.